Good day, YouTube, and thank you for joining in, subscribers. This is Jay again with Falling Forward Financial. Today I'd like to go over one of my favorite weed stocks. It's actually a REIT in the weed industry. And as you can see, I do own one share currently. I've had it for a while. I wish I would have bought more back then. As you can see, it's up to 171.14 today. And as you can see, my cost basis here, which I only have one share, I think I was listening to another YouTuber about 2 years ago and picked it up, and it was kind of interesting. But anyway, it's really been doing good. Again, I wish I would have bought more, and I'm looking to buy more of it. Looks like it's up over 6% today. On the week, it's 11%. A little bit over 12% in the last month. The 3 months it's really been going up 38%, and for the last year it's 130%. So it's really been doing good, even though a lot of the weed stocks have been going down. And as you can see what it's done over the 5-year. Anyway, if you don't know much about this particular company and what they do, Innovative Industry Properties Inc., common stock, also known as Innovative Industrial Properties, is a real estate investment trust which engages in the acquisition, ownership, and management of industrial properties. It operates through the following geographical segments: Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New York, North Dakota, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. The firm's property portfolio include PharmaCann, Ascend Wellness Holdings, and as you can see the rest, if you'd like to read the rest, you can go ahead and pause it. This one actually does give a dividend as well, which I think is kind of nice. It's one of the only ones besides some of the other ETFs that I have in the MJ industry that give a dividend. As you can see, it has really good ratings here by analysts, showing it's a pretty strong buy. The financials look really great on it. As you can see a little bit of my history, I do own one share that I bought a little bit over 2 years ago for $40.06. It does do a quarterly dividend, which you can see it's kind of been up and down, up, and then it's just been kind of gradually increasing as the MJ sector has been growing. But again, I've really enjoyed this one. I'm looking to buy more into it as it's really been growing, and I think in the coming years, when more states get legalized, and depending on how the election goes, this could really take off. Just kind of show you what Benzinga shows it here. Again, it's just been kind of up and down a little bit today, so it's not really one I don't know if you would trade. It's just one that I bought and am holding it. But some show it's overweight, some show it's a buy. It's definitely bullish. For those that like the perspective from MarketWatch, it's also here on MarketWatch. You can see the earnings, which have just been going up and up, which I also like. Again, they are showing it as a strong buy. For those that like the Google perspective, I brought that up here on Google, and as you can see a couple of the ads here. I did bring up one of these other articles as it's been fast growing. Here's what Innovative Industrial Properties Inc. shareholder ownership structure looks like. A look at shareholders of Innovative Industrial Properties can tell us which group is most powerful. Institutions will often hold stock in bigger companies, and we expect to see insiders owning a noticeable percentage of the smaller ones. Companies that used to be publicly traded tend to have lower insider ownership. With a market capitalization of $3.6 billion, Innovative Industrial Properties is rather large. We'd expect to see institutional investors on the registers. Companies of this size are usually well known to retail investors too. Our analysis of the ownership of the company below shows that institutions are noticeable on the share registry. We can zoom in on different ownership groups to learn more about Innovative Industrial Properties. And as you can see, the individual insiders, the percentage here, the general public is 22%, and institutions have a little bit over 75%. So again, I think it's a pretty safe one. We can go back and look, but even when it took a dip in March, I mean, it went down like everything else, but it wasn't drastically. What does institutional ownership tell us about Innovative Industrial Properties? Institutions typically measure themselves against a benchmark when reporting to their own investors, so they often become more enthusiastic about a stock once it's included in a major index. We would expect more companies to have some institutions on the register, especially if they are growing. We can see that Innovative Industrial Properties does have institutional investors, and they hold a good portion of the company's stock. This can indicate that the company has a certain degree of credibility in the investment community, which I believe is a really great point in the MJ sector, since a lot of them can't get financing from banks and everything. Again, if you'd like to go over this, you can pause the video here, and kind of goes over the revenue, earnings, free cash flow, and everything. Investors should note that institutions actually own more than half of the company, so they can collectively wield significant power. Innovative Industrial Properties is not owned by hedge funds. BlackRock Inc. is currently the company's largest shareholder with 16% of shares outstanding. The Vanguard Incorporated is the second largest shareholding, owning 13% of common stock, and State Street Global Advisors Inc. holds about 4.5% of the company's stock. Looking at the shareholder registry, we can see that 51% of the ownership is controlled by the top 13 shareholders, meaning that no single shareholder has a majority interest in the ownership. While studying institutional ownership for a company can add value to your research, it is also a good practice to research analyst recommendations to get a deeper understanding of the stock's expected performance. There are plenty of analysts covering the stock, so it might be worth seeing what they are forecasting too. And as you can see, general public ownership, the general public owns 22% stake. And then I just had a couple other articles here. The top 5 cannabis stocks to buy now. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard of these if you're in the MJ sector. I have a lot of these as well. I haven't bought any of them for a while because, you know, the market went. It is starting to go up, and again, depending on who is in office next year and for the next 4 years could make a difference in some of these. But as you can see in number 5, Canopy Growth. Canopy Growth leads the list of our top 5 most popular cannabis stocks among hedge funds, as 9 funds disclosed stakes worth $19.07 million in total, down from 11 funds the previous quarter. Is one of the largest cannabis companies in the world and highly diversified, covering not just recreational and medical cannabis flower segments, but also hemp, CBD, beverages, edibles, and vaporizers. So you can see they're well diverse in quite a few products. The company has also entered into several important partnerships with Constellation Brands, ticker STZ, Snoop Dogg, Seth Rogen, and Martha Stewart. In September, Canopy Growth Corp, CGC, launched Martha Stewart branded CBD gummies, oil, and gel on the U.S. market. So those are all interesting products. For those of you that are in this sector, I'm sure you've all heard of ACB. I have a couple of their shares. I didn't really like how they did the reverse, the dilution of stocks, where I don't have as many stocks, and I believe it took a dip, so I haven't really been looking at them all that close lately. I do have some Kronos Group. I'm about back to my cost basis on that. GW Pharma, I do not own any of that one yet. And as you can see, the number one is the Innovative Industrial Properties, Inc. Top stock in the list of hedge funds' favorite weed stocks is IIPR, as 20 investors from our database reported holding shares in their latest 13F filings unchanged over the quarter. At the same time, the aggregate value of funds holdings surged to $235.84 million from $185.49 million a quarter earlier. So it's been growing just like the stock has been going up. Innovative Industrial Properties is a stock that has many reasons to be one of the best in the cannabis sector. Since the beginnings of the year, it has more than doubled in value, and it's only one that's paying a dividend, because Innovative Industrial Properties is a real estate investment trust. It's not just a REIT, but it's currently the only REIT that works with the legal cannabis industry. So again, I think that's why it's been growing, because it is the only one in the industry. The company works at acquiring properties through sale leaseback program, where companies that own growing, processing, and distribution facilities get to sell them to Innovation Industrial Properties, Inc., and then enter into a long-term triple net lease with the REIT. In this way, companies get more liquidity and even some additional capital for upgrades and improvements. And if you'd like to pause, you can go ahead and read that section. I just thought it was an interesting article. Couple other articles here. One of the fastest growing REITs in 2020. And again, as you can see, what it done there over the year, up almost 120%. This is one of the latest articles. Voters in Arizona, Montana, New Jersey, and South Dakota approved adult use cannabis legalization initiatives on November 3rd, 2020. So it's just going to be, as time goes on, it's just going to be becoming more legalized, and I believe this particular REIT is just going to keep going up. So it'd be one to keep on your watch list. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just stating my opinion here. I'm not telling you whether to buy it or not, but I just thought this one isn't interesting. And for those that want to be in the industry with a safer stock as well as get a dividend, I thought this is one that's worth looking into. Again, this is my opinion. If you'd like to get some free stock and support the channel, again, my name is Jay. I have a couple links in the comments below, as you can see. Of course, I trade on Robinhood. That's what we're looking at here. Another platform that I've really started to like is Doe. Of course, I have Webull. That's another popular one. Moomoo. I trade on from time to time, as well as an IRA and M1 Finance and Firstrade. If you'd like to get a stock in one or all and get a free stock for yourself as well as help with the channel, go ahead. But again, just stating my opinion on Innovative Industrial Properties. Again, I thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Keep trading and stay green. Thank you.